Welcome to Creating the Path, a podcast for entrepreneurs who want to create their own unique pathway to success and happiness. I'm your host, Heather Grace Hanson, and each week I'll be sharing tips and strategies to help you create the path to a life you love. Let's dive in. Hey there, thanks for joining me. Today I'm talking about the mindset needed to build and maintain a successful business. Building a successful business takes hard work, but maybe not in the way that you think. When I think of hard work, I usually think of it as burning the candle at both ends, that hustle and grind type of work. And that can lead to success for sure. But you can also achieve success in a more enjoyable and sustainable way with a few key mindset shifts. And this inner mindset work is hard. And that's what I'm talking about today when I say that building a successful business is hard. But it is worth it, especially if the alternative is to hustle and grind and eventually burn out. Well, then I'll take some mindset work over that any day, right? So today I have 3 key CEO mindset shifts for you. Whether or not you think of yourself as a CEO, let me tell you that you are. Not only are you the CEO of your business, you're the CEO of your life. And this reminds me of something from an episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. And if you haven't seen the show, this will still make sense. There's an episode where Charlie applies for a new job and he doesn't have any work experience except for Patty's Pub, of course. So on his job application, he puts something like that he's been in charge of pretty much everything in his life for like however many years. I don't remember exactly how it was phrased because it's been a few years since I watched the show. And of course, that's meant to be silly because, of course, you'd never put something like that on your resume. But the first mindset shift I'm offering you today is to start believing you're the CEO of both your business and your life. Because what we do outside of work affects how we show up at work, and how we show up in all areas of our life affects our overall quality of life. Now, when I say that, I don't want that to feel like pressure that you have to work harder to be a CEO, 24 hours a day and always be on top of things. It's more about just making sure that you're taking care of yourself outside of work and actually putting focus on the importance of self-care and doing that with intention. So that leads me to mindset shift number 2. But before I tell you what it is, I just want to make a note about where I got these next 2 tips from. Because I've been following many very successful business, mindset, branding coaches for several years and, learning from them more in depth in their programs. And these are people, who make millions of dollars in their business. People like Rachel Rogers, Jennifer Kem, Denise Duffield Thomas, Marie Forleo, Jordan Gill, and lots of others. Y'all, I take a lot of courses and I'm constantly absorbing knowledge from these people. And I've noticed the very consistent messaging from all of these very successful people. So the next 2 mindsets are ones that I've heard all of these people talk about in one way or another. And although I'm not successful at their level yet, I will say that I didn't really start to make forward progress in my business until I made these mindset shifts myself and actually started taking action from these mindsets. So, mindset shift number 2 is to take care of yourself. Denise Duffield Thomas talks about this all the time when she says to protect the golden goose. Meaning, if your business relies on you as the CEO, what happens if you burn out. Your business relies on you taking care of yourself so that you can continue to show up, and not just show up, but being able to make the decisions that will grow the business. Because you can show up in your business, in a burned out and overwhelmed state for a long time and keep things running. I mean, I was burned out for 8 years, but I was still showing up to work. But that hurts your ability to grow your business and make it more successful. And I've heard all of these million-dollar earners talk about this. So I think that consistency speaks to its truth. And mindset shift number 3 is to simplify. Now, this is the most difficult one for me because I definitely identify as a multi-passionate person. I have tons of ideas and I'm constantly changing my mind about things or getting excited about new ideas and, wanting to pivot my business. And I actually have pivoted and shifted my business so many times in the past, but I'm finally leaning into this one. Because again, I consistently hear this advice over and over again from the most successful people that I follow and who I'm learning from. And I can see the proof of how it works simply by the fact that I myself was attracted to their messaging because of how clear and simple it was. And I can see how other people's businesses lack that oomph, at least from my perspective as a potential customer, because they aren't clear on what they do, or maybe there's too many things that they do or offer. And it just becomes confusing to me as a potential customer or client. And Marie Forleo always says, simplify to amplify, which, although that phrase might be becoming a little cliche by now, I think it's a good one because it perfectly describes why simplifying is so powerful. When you simplify, you amplify whatever you decide to focus on because you're able to direct more of your energy to it rather than spreading your energy or your efforts thin, across a wide number of things. And as I mentioned in the beginning, this applies both to business and life because especially when you're an entrepreneur, your life and business are so interconnected. And even if you're not an entrepreneur, your energy doesn't care what you're spending it on, right? If you spend your energy, you'll get drained until you recharge it, regardless of what you spent it on. So you might as well focus your energy on things that will make the most impact, both in business and in life, right? This episode is sponsored by my signature VIP day, Joyful Productivity. If you're feeling overworked and overwhelmed, I can help you create a plan that allows you to be more productive while working less. Yep, you heard that right. We'll create clear goals to focus on and cut out all the unnecessary busy work that's keeping you spinning your wheels but not actually moving you forward. After one day together, you'll have a schedule that allows you to work fewer hours by managing both your time and energy, and a foundation to support your success. Click the link in the show notes for more info and to submit your interest. Now I want to leave you with a special bonus tip, because in the beginning, I mentioned that mindset work is hard. But honestly, it's probably not as hard as you're making it out to be. I've worked with so many clients who work so hard to change their mindset and get over mindset blocks. And I've noticed that really the breakthrough comes when they finally approach it with a lighter attitude. And I've experienced this myself. So here's a few questions to think about to kind of coach yourself on. What if up-leveling your mindset is actually fun instead of hard? Yes, it can take some time to truly make the shift and believe a new mindset. It's not just like a one and done thing. But what if that journey was fun? Bring less intensity to the process and more curiosity. When I think to myself now, when I'm working on a new mindset shift, is to think something like, what if that actually is true? What would that be like? What could be possible then? So, to recap, the 3 CEO mindsets are: you are the CEO of your entire life, in addition to your business. Number 2, protect yourself and your energy. Protect the golden goose, as Denise Duffield Thomas would say. And number 3, simplify to amplify. And now I'll leave you with this one last question. What could be possible for you if you believed these 3 mindsets fully and took action from these mindsets? I hope you enjoyed this episode of Creating the Path as much as I did. You can find the show notes for this and every episode at heathergracehanson.com/podcast. But before you go, make sure to hit the subscribe button. New episodes drop every Tuesday. Until then, have a fabulous week.